Hey there, fellow explorer. Ready to ditch those tourist traps and find something a little more, authentic?
I knew we'd find some adventurous listeners out there.
Today we're diving deep into Rabat, but not the Rabat you see on postcards.
We're going beyond the typical tourist experience.
We're talking hidden gems, local secrets, and figuring out if Rabat is really worth a spot on your travel bucket list.
We're digging into an article here called 10 Things You Should Know About Rabat.
But like all good deep dives, we're not just stopping at the what, we're uncovering the why.
Exactly, why those facts matter.
Why Rabat might be calling your name.
You know, it's funny. When people think of Morocco, they usually think Casablanca.
Right. The bustling, high-energy, kind of overwhelming vibe.
But Rabat's different.
So we're talking laid-back luxury.
Think Paris meets the Mediterranean.
Parisian elegance, but with a slower, more relaxed pace.
You've got it, those beautiful boulevards, stunning architecture. But you can actually enjoy them.
You can stroll, people watch at a cafe.
Savor the moment.
Now that's an escape I can get behind.
And it seems like that might be just what you're looking for.
Definitely. But how easy is it to actually get to this relaxed vibe? What about getting to Rabat?
Well, we've got Rabat Sale Airport.
I was going to ask about that. What's the deal with the airport?
Okay, so it might be smaller than some.
You're about to share a travel secret, aren't you?
Maybe. It's a hub for Royal Air Morocco.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
If you're flexible with your travel plans, you might just find an amazing deal or a unique route you wouldn't find anywhere else.
All right, I'm liking these Rabat travel secrets already.
Eh.
Now, once we're there, how do we get around? Public transport, taxis.
Well, you've got choices. First off, the high-speed train from Casablanca to Rabat, that only takes less than an hour.
Less than an hour.
You heard right. Imagine. You're on this sleek train, just gliding through the Moroccan countryside.
Talk about arriving relaxed and ready to explore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, in the city itself, you've got those cute little blue petite taxis everywhere, super affordable, but for a truly unique experience, ditch the wheels and hop in a rowboat.
A rowboat, you're kidding?
No, seriously. You can row across the river to sail.
Rowing to another city. That's a first.
It's Rabat's sister city, not your typical tourist destination, that's for sure.
Sounds like the perfect way to escape the crowds and find something truly unique.
Definitely. You'll come back with stories nobody else has.
Now, after a long day of rowing adventures, we're going to need a place to relax, right?
Oh, absolutely. Where do we even start?
Well, the Golden Tulip Farah Rabat Hotel caught my eye. Any thoughts on that one?
It's a classic for a reason. It's super popular with business travelers.
So we're talking efficient and stylish.
You got it. But don't think it's all work and no play.
Oh, tell me more.
They've got a pool, fitness center, restaurants. It's a great choice whether you're there for work or leisure.
I like a hotel that understands balance. But let's say we want something a bit more grand.
Grand, you say?
Maybe after a long day of soaking in the city, something a little more luxurious.
Well, then you have to check out the Hotel Sofitel Rabat Jardin de Roses.
Okay, you're speaking my language now.
It's majestic, nestled in this massive 17-acre garden right by the royal palace.
Now that screams royal treatment.
It's a completely different experience. You'll feel like royalty yourself.
Right, we're relaxed, we're pampered, but now I'm getting hungry. Where are we eating in Rabat?
Oh, you're in for a treat. Where do we even begin?
Well, the Restaurant Dinarjat piqued my interest. Tucked away in this 17th century Andalusian-style house, it just sounds so atmospheric.
It really is. And the food lives up to the setting, believe me.
Perfect. What about those hidden gems? You know, those places only locals know about.
Okay, if we're talking hidden gems, Le Petit Beurre d'Artagine has your name written all over it.
Tell me everything.
Amazing tagines, couscous, all the Moroccan classics.
Sounds delicious already.
But it gets even better. At night, the waiters transform into musicians.
Wait, what?
You're enjoying your meal, and suddenly the very people who served you are serenading you with traditional music.
That is incredible.
It's an experience you won't forget.
Okay, two completely different vibes, but both sound incredible. Now, you mentioned that Parisian feel earlier.
Okay.
Is there a spot that really embodies that French influence in Rabat?
Oh, absolutely. For a touch of Parisian chic, you have to go to Le Grand Comptoir Rabat.
Okay, tell me more. What's the ambiance like?
Think classic French charm. Candelabras, giant palms, live piano music.
Wow, now I'm really feeling that blend of cultures. This is exactly the kind of travel experience I'm looking for. Not just seeing the sights, but really experiencing the soul of a city.
Exactly. And that's what makes Rabat so captivating.
It's a city of contrasts.
Right, you've got it. You've got the historic Medina, the old walled city, a step back in time.
And then there's the Ville Nouvelle, the new city.
Which, as you might have guessed, was developed by the French.
So that's where we'll see that French influence most prominently.
Exactly. In the architecture, the ambiance, everything.
I bet that blend of influences goes beyond the physical buildings, too. What's everyday life like in Rabat?
Oh, absolutely. You'll feel it everywhere.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Think about the music, for example.
Ah, music. I love discovering new music while I'm traveling.
You'll hear it everywhere in Rabat, in the marketplaces, cafes, especially during Ramadan. It's incredible.
So it's not just something in the background, it's part of the experience.
Exactly. It's an invitation to experience the city's pulse. I'd even recommend seeking out a local music performance.
Whoa, that's a great idea. Now, let's talk must-sees. We've touched on the different sides of the city, but what about specific spots? Places we absolutely shouldn't miss.
Okay, let's see. For history buffs, the Archaeological Museum is a must.
The Archaeological Museum. What makes it so special?
Well, it's been recently expanded, so it's even more impressive now. You'll find all these incredible Moroccan archaeological discoveries there.
So we're talking about a journey through time.
Exactly. From prehistoric artifacts to Roman mosaics, it's all there.
Sign me up. Now, I also read about these cella gardens, especially beautiful in spring. Have you been?
Oh, you have to see it to believe it. Imagine this. Fields of flowers, all in bloom. It's a riot of color.
Wow, sounds incredible.
And the air is thick with the scent of jasmine, roses, orange blossoms. It's intoxicating.
It's like a feast for the senses.
Exactly, especially in spring when everything's so vibrant, so alive.
Okay, I'm sold. The cella gardens are officially on my list. Now, we're on the coast, so I had to ask about beaches.
Of course. You're never far from the ocean in Rabat.
Are we talking relaxing beach days?
Oh.
Or maybe something more adventurous?
Well, you've got options. You can definitely spend the day soaking up the sun. Or if you're feeling brave, try surfing.
You know, this is what I love about Rabat. There's something for everyone. Speaking of options, what about escaping the city for a bit? Any nature spots nearby?
Absolutely. Just a short trip from the city center, you'll find Lac Sidi Boba Park.
Lac Sidi Boba Park. Okay, I'm making notes. What's it like?
It's this gorgeous nature reserve diverse flora and fauna, hiking trails, perfect spots for a picnic by the lake.
So peaceful.
You can even go fishing there if you'd like.
Wow. And to think all of this is within easy reach of those elegant boulevards and charming cafes we talked about earlier. It's like Rabat has it all.
It really does. And despite this diversity, it's managed to maintain a very authentic feel.
It's not overrun by tourists then.
Not at all. It's a city that marches to the beat of its own drum.
I love that. Now let's talk about after dark. What does Rabat have to offer when the sun goes down?
Well, if you're looking for a lively night out, Fifth Avenue should be on your list.
Fifth Avenue. Tell me more.
It's got this cool vibe, a blend of American theming with a Moroccan twist.
So are we talking burgers and fries next to Tagines?
Not quite. Think more along the lines of the music. They've got everything from hip-hop to techno to Middle Eastern beats.
That sounds like my kind of place. A real mix of everything.
Exactly. It's all about that energetic, eclectic atmosphere.
Now, what about something a little more, shall we say, exclusive? A place to get dressed up and sip cocktails.
Ah, in that case, Ixim is calling your name.
It's Vim. Okay, this sounds fancy.
It's the place to be seen in Rabat. Think sophisticated ambience, Rabat's socialites dressed to the nines.
Maybe I'll need to make a quick ATM stop beforehand.
You might want to. Those cocktails aren't for the budget conscious.
Duly noted. So we've covered food, music, nightlife. What about shopping? What kind of treasures are waiting for us in Rabat's markets?
Oh, get ready for a shopping experience like no other. The Medina, especially, is a must visit.
The Medina. I've heard so much about it.
It's a labyrinth of narrow alleys and hidden shops. You can easily spend hours getting lost in there.
I'm not afraid of getting a little lost, especially if it means finding unique treasures.
Exactly. Don't be shy about haggling either. It's part of the experience. And keep an eye out for those Rabat and Berber carpets.
Oh, yes. The carpets. They're legendary.
The craftsmanship is incredible. Each one tells a story.
They'd make such unique souvenirs. Speaking of souvenirs, what about those embroidered fabrics I've heard so much about?
Ah, you're clearly a traveler with great taste. You'll find them throughout the Medina. The detail work is incredible. Intricate designs, vibrant colors.
It's like wearable art.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to need an extra suitcase just for souvenirs. Beyond the shopping and everything, something that's really resonating with me is this focus on human connection in Rabat.
It's true. The people are so warm and welcoming.
Our sources really emphasize that. Engaging with locals, sharing mint tea, maybe even learning a few Arabic phrases.
It's about truly immersing yourself in the culture.
Exactly. So let's talk about the language barrier. I know French is widely spoken because of Morocco's history, but what can we realistically expect?
You're right. French is very common, especially in business and tourism.
So we should be able to get by with French.
Absolutely. And many people, especially in the tourism industry, also speak English.
That's reassuring.
But it's always a good idea to learn a few basic phrases in Arabic.
I agree. Even just a few words go a long way.
Moroccans really appreciate the effort. It shows that you're trying to connect with their culture.
I'm all for a little linguistic adventure. Now, we've covered so much, the beauty, the culture, the food, but what about the practicalities? Is Rabat a safe city?
Overall, Rabat is very safe for tourists.
That's good to hear.
But it's always wise to be mindful, just like you would in any unfamiliar city.
Of course.
Uh-huh.
Common sense, right.
Exactly. Be aware of your belongings, especially in crowded areas like the Medina.
Right. Better safe than sorry. Now, what about cultural norms or etiquette? Anything we should be mindful of?
Moroccans are generally very tolerant and understanding, especially towards tourists.
That's good to know.
But a little cultural sensitivity goes a long way. For example, it's considered polite to dress modestly, especially when visiting religious sites.
Okay, good to remember.
And it's also respectful to avoid public displays of affection.
Got it. It's all about being respectful guests wherever we travel. Now, I have to ask about alcohol. I know Morocco is a Muslim-majority country.
Yeah.
What can we expect in Rabat?
You're right. Morocco is a Muslim-majority country, and some areas are more conservative than others.
So what about Rabat?
Rabat is generally considered more liberal. You can find alcohol in licensed hotels, restaurants, and bars.
Okay, so it's available, but maybe not as freely as in some other destinations.
Exactly. It's best to be discreet and respectful.
Good advice. Now let's talk staying connected. Wi-Fi is a must these days.
Absolutely. And you're in luck. Most hotels, cafes, and restaurants in Rabat offer free Wi-Fi.
Music to my ears. What about SIM cards? If we want to be disconnected from our usual lives but still have data and local calls.
Easy. You can grab a local SIM card at the airport or in shops throughout the city.
So no need to worry about staying connected.
Not at all. They're very affordable, too.
Fantastic. It sounds like Rabat really has thought of everything.
It has. You know, as we've been talking, it's really struck me how Rabat manages to balance this incredible mix of influences while still maintaining its own unique identity.
It's not trying to be something it's not.
Exactly. It's proud of its history, its culture, this unique blend of Moroccan and French influences.
And that's what makes it so fascinating. So before we move on, any final must-try experiences or hidden gems you'd recommend for a truly authentic Rabat adventure?
You know, we haven't even touched on the art scene in Rabat.
Oh, tell me more. I love discovering local art.
It's incredibly vibrant and diverse. A visit to the Mohammed VI Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art is an absolute must.
Okay, this is going straight on my list.
Yeah.
What kind of art can we expect to see there?
They have an amazing collection, both Moroccan and international artists.
I love that we're ending on a note of artistic discovery. It feels like the perfect way to round out our Rabat adventure.
And you know what's interesting about the museum is that it's not just a place to look at art, it's a cultural hub.
A place where people come together.
Exactly. It's a place to engage with art, with ideas, with each other. It really reflects the spirit of Rabat.
That's wonderful. Okay, so we've got the art scene covered. Any final tips for truly connecting with the people and the culture in Rabat?
You know, one of the most authentic ways to experience Moroccan culture is through its cuisine.
We did talk about restaurants, but is there something else?
Yes. I highly recommend seeking out a traditional Moroccan tea ceremony.
A traditional tea ceremony. I've never done that before.
Oh, it's an experience. It's more than just a drink. It's a ritual, a symbol of hospitality and friendship.
So it's a way of connecting with people.
Absolutely. The tea is prepared with such care, often with fresh mint and sugar.
Sounds delicious.
It's usually served in these small, ornate glasses, and the pouring itself is an art form.
Wow.
Don't be surprised if you get invited to share a pot of mint tea with locals.
Oh, that would be lovely.
It's their way of welcoming you, of sharing their culture with you. Don't hesitate to accept the invitation.
I definitely won't.
It's an experience you won't soon forget.
Okay, that is going straight on my must-do list.
Right.
It feels like the perfect note to end on, immersing ourselves in the warmth and hospitality of Moroccan culture. It really is. That perfect blend of cultures, that genuine connection, the art, it just sounds magical.
It is. It really gets under your skin.
Makes you want to book a ticket right now.
You should. What are you waiting for?
Okay, you've convinced me. Rabat's going on the list. But before we wrap up,
Yeah.
any last words of wisdom for someone looking to, really unlock the magic of Rabat?
I'd say go with an open mind. Be ready for the unexpected.
Don't go in with a strict itinerary.
Exactly. Let Rabat surprise you.
Let the city lead the way.
Exactly. It's not the kind of place you can just rush through.
Take your time, wander those little streets, get a little lost.
Talk to the locals.
Embrace the unexpected detours.
That's where you'll find the real magic.
Beautifully said. Well, I have to say, this deep dive has been incredible. We really went beyond the typical travel guide stuff.
I think we uncovered some real hidden gems this episode.
We did. I feel like I learned so much more than I ever could have just reading an article.
That's what these deep dives are all about.
It's about digging deeper, going beyond the surface.
And finding those experiences that truly stay with you.
Exactly. So to wrap things up, if you're listening and you're looking for a destination that's a little different,
A little off the beaten path.
a city that's full of history and culture,
And maybe a touch of magic.
Rabat just might be calling your name.
I think it is.
On that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into Rabat. We hope you enjoyed exploring this captivating city with us. Until next time, happy travels.